Hi guys, we're back.
The manliest of men, you know,
The manliest of the manliest of men.
the one and onlys.
So, what did you do this week?
Oh, okay. So first of all, I went to the Olivia Rodrigo concert.
How was that?
It's third with Chapel Round, yeah. And
Okay,
it's third.
okay.
But I wanted to tell you a little story.
Go ahead.
So, you know those little green little spiders? They're kind of just like common house spiders, okay?
I've never seen the green ones, but yes, continue.
Okay,
Scary.
and there was one on my shower, like my bathroom ceiling.
Girl, this morning?
No, I just went to take a shower the other night. Sorry, I'm just looking.
Okay.
And it was on the ceiling, and I was like, you know what? If you don't touch me, I won't. Like, I'm not gonna deal with
Okay,
it,
period. We're respecting each other's boundaries.
I honestly
you know?
don't like killing them, but it comes to a point sometimes where I'm just like,
so if you're in my space and I asked you not to be here and you're still here.
Exactly. And so I also said earlier that week, like, I'd rather live with a spider than live with a centipede. Which is
okay, you know what? That's
true,
understandable because
okay?
what?
Because centipedes are rank. I hate them. The house centipedes are so gross. Like, ugh. Anyways,
they got too many legs. It's scary.
Exactly. And so I'm like, just taking my shower at like 2 a.m, and I put on my little exfoliator on my arms. And I'm just,
okay, getting into it.
I look back up. So where's the spider? So I'm looking at the ground. I'm like, where is it?
Can't find it on the ground, on the ceiling, nowhere?
No. So I lift my head. And yeah, so it's on its web about this far away from my face. And the velocity with which I literally jumped out of the bath. Well, it's a bath, but it's a shower. Anyways, I jumped out of the shower and I just because I was so scared. I still had that exfoliator on my arms. I hadn't washed it off yet. I was just like,
the way I would have actually been terrified. It's like seeing a spider and like being in the middle of like washing your hair and you get soap in your eye. Like, I don't even give a fuck. I just gotta go.
Literally, I was like, and so I had to, unfortunately.
She had to go.
I had to do what I had to do. But I was just like, this is horrible.
That's insidious.
What happened during your week?
I don't know. Like, I'll just be cooking. Like, I made a little like pasta dish the other day.
What kind of pasta?
Like, we just add like, hold on, what is it called? That little green thing. So silly.
That little cream thing.
That little green sauce. That little green thing.
Pesto.
Okay. Pesto, cream cheese. Some.
Did you have protein in it?
But of course, chicken. I love chicken.
Okay, chicken. Okay.
I love chicken. Yeah. You cannot put anything but chicken in a creamy pasta. That's weird.
Creamy pasta is always chicken.
Always, forever,
or like,
and always.
Bacon.
I love like the little sprinkles of bacon.
Carbonara.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my HelloFresh.
Oh.
Anyways, so I had a little question for you. You ready? What kind of friend are you?
So here's my thing with that.
Because we've been friends for a while, and I feel like I've seen very different, like, I don't know.
I've gone through different phases in my life, but I also think that, like, now people are just like, I'm this type of friend, and they're just kind of labeling themselves as, like, I'm this type of friend. And I feel like there's such, like, a nuance, and I don't know what that word means. I do not know what nuance means, like, divine nuance.
We just be even words.
Like, no, yeah. There's, like, so much that goes into that, and it's like, you're not a therapist friend just because you're like, tell me about your life.
Real.
You're not a mom friend just because you're hovering over your entire friend group. Like, no one wants that kind of thing.
That's real.
So, yeah, but I think that at one point, I guess you could label it therapist friend.
How would you describe, like, a therapist friend? Like, what is that?
So, in my definition, it's someone who is your friend.
Oh, really?
And they listen to all your issues without judging you or whatever, but they're not adamant about, like, come sit down and tell me all your issues, and like, you can come to me and tell me everything, like, and so how did that make you feel? Like, they're not that kind of person. It's very much just like you feel so comfortable with them that it's like whatever. They're also the kind of person,
they're just like attracting people, like people are just like attracted to them,
kind of tells their issues to them.
Okay.
How about you? What do you think is a therapist friend, or what kind of friend have you been throughout the years?
I feel like I've very much either been labeled like the therapist friend or like the mom friend, and that's literally just because, like, again, people just feel comfortable just talking, just coming up to me and talking to me about stuff, and I'm never gonna be like, don't talk to me about it, because I'm never that person. I'm always like, I'm here to listen. And I think that's actually why I was labeled the therapist friend, just because I knew how to listen and other people didn't actively know how to do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the times when somebody goes to somebody and they're like, oh, here, this is what's going on in my life, somebody's like, okay, do X, Y, and Z to get to where you need to be. And it's like, sometimes people don't want a goal. They just want somebody to listen to them.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I think that the only reason why I was labeled a therapist friend is because I was a good listener and other people didn't know how to actively do that, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes like a therapist friend. Yeah.
I agree. I think that also often the people that are like, I'm the therapist friend, don't actively listen. Like they actually are just trying to tell you like, this is what you should do. Sometimes they're the most judgmental people.
Oh my God, I hate when they like you said, like kind of put themselves in the position of the therapist friend, not because they're attracting people, but because they're going up to people and being like, oh, hey, what's going on? And then later on they get pissed about it and they're like, oh, like nobody's respecting my boundaries, like I'm helping everybody. And it's like, okay, but Pookie, like
you asked them.
Yeah. And now you're getting upset. Because for something that you asked for. Like these are the repercussions of your own actions. Like if you want to put down boundaries, that's perfectly fine, but you getting mad because people are doing exactly what you asked them to do, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So Kaleesia and I have been friends since our high school, but I don't know what you guys are listening from, who you are.
Oh, that's real.
Since grade 6 we've been friends, and we have been friends like throughout that entire time. Like obviously there are times that we didn't speak as much and blah 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 blah, but people just always felt comfortable kind of talking to us just about random stuff. Like we'd be in the middle of math class and we'd receive a bunch of random information.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it was literally because who else are we gonna fucking tell?
Truly.
Literally, it was just like us two, and we'd tell each other kind of everything, and we still do that. But it's like we don't have like anyone else to tell because it just doesn't. First of all, it doesn't really matter to us that much. But we also validated most people's feelings when that happened.
I don't think that we tell each other with the intent to like start drama or like talk about shit about people. We do it with the intent of like, this is what somebody told me. This is how I felt. How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like growing up, like I think I wasn't a therapist when I was younger because I was just very rash in my decisions and I didn't really think things all the way through. And I think I had a point with my sister. And she's extremely empathetic. And she came to me and like we'd get into literally. She would come to me and we'd get into arguments and she'd be like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you're not even trying to see my side. And I feel like she taught me to see things from other people's perspective. And I think that's why I'm sort of a good therapist friend. And so when I come to you, I'm always just like, here's the info. How do you feel about it? Is there another perspective that I'm just not seeing or something that I'm missing?
Yeah. It's definitely just a more, sorry, I'm like,
no, go do your thing.
It's definitely just to more be like, oh, what do you feel? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what is this about? Like, kind of thing.
And sometimes I feel insane and crazy, so I'm just like, you need to just let me know that I'm not insane and crazy.
I'm like, okay, well, I felt this way, but I was like, why don't you feel this way?
I'm like, I think her boyfriend's toxic, but I'm like, maybe I'm looking too much into things.
Yeah, and then I'm like, no, definitely. Like, yeah. So what do you think, like, the difference between a therapist friend and then, like, mom friend, blah, 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 dad friend, whatever those things
little things are.
Yeah, what do you think is, like, the big difference there?
I feel like the dad or, like, the mom friend of the group, I feel like they're classified as, like, caring, but also kind of bossy. And I think that's kind of the difference is that the therapist friend isn't, like, obligated to kind of, I don't know, micromanage the group a little bit. Yeah. They're just there if like the group needs emotional support. Whereas, the mom or the dad of the group, like most parents, is usually there to just like micromanage and makes things a bit more stressful. And although they try to come with the intent to be like, hey, you can talk to me about anything, like I'm here to care for you, sometimes it is a bit too much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think that before, a while ago, mom friend was just like, oh, the friend that kind of had everything in their purse, the friend that kind of
has their life together a little bit.
Like sometimes they have a stable partner, and I don't mean purse in like a gendered way. I just mean like they have everything with them. Like they have, if you need hand sanitizer, if you need a tampon, if you need a pad, if you need anything. Like,
they got have Advil. Like they've got that mom bag, the humongous bag with everything in it. Yeah.
And now it's just been like, I'm the mom friend. I take care of everyone. But it's not that. It's literally, as you said, like, it's just that kind of vibe of, like, I think to be a mom friend is to, and I'm having trouble.
I think it's to like let somebody choose their own choices and genuinely just support them in the things that they make.
Yeah.
Like try not to micromanage as much as just support people and give people options. I feel like free will is definitely like a big one. Like don't be like bossy and tell people what to do. Give them options. Hey, you can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this.
I was gonna say, I think it's to take care of someone, but not tell them you're taking care of them, kind of thing.
Oh, real?
It's
Expand.
it's like it's to be like, oh, I have this if you need it. Do you need water? I have that. Or do you need this? But not like on their ass. Like you should have done this and you should have done that. I think that's a little too excessive. But I think that you care for them, and it's not in like a overly overbearing kind of way of like, no, but I have to, if we're going out on a night on the town and I want to get a little drunk, I don't need you taking care of me. Like,
yeah,
I got
truly.
it. Like, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. And I think that that's kind of what it's turned into, and I don't like that.
No, that's real. And if you're with ever a friend who is drinking so much that you need to keep track of them or whatever, why is it your friend? Why is that your friend?
Well, not even just,
and because that's never the case, because they're usually just like micromanaging. But if that ever is the case, that like you have to take care of your friend in that way,
if you feel like you have to take care of them, and it's like not in a like, I don't, because I don't care about that. Like I think that if you have to take care of your friend because they went a little bit too far, that's fine. Yeah. But if you feel like it's a pattern and you don't like it, then stop being their friend, obviously.
And if I'm just drinking to socialize and truly it's never anything too much, why are you keeping track of Pookie? I'm good.
But that's what I mean. Also, like, you can do it quietly. Exactly. Like, you don't need to be on my ass.
I absolutely hate it when it gets like brought up in like a group setting, or like when they try and call up their friend in like a caring way in a group setting, and I'm like,
well, I had to take care of.
Oh my god.
So what do you mean?
Explain yourself. Actually,
don't say that. So why are you doing that? Well,
Never
I know
that.
What you do.
No. And especially if I'm ever calling out a friend, which I don't think I do often, but if I ever do, I'm going to do it behind closed doors. Nobody has to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but with my friends, I'm like, maybe I won't call you out in public depending on what you say, but I might just sit you down on the side and be like, hey.
That wasn't cool. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very I'm a pushover, so I don't really like do that. Like I won't call anyone out if they're mean to me, because I'm just like, usually I'm trying to work on it. But I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. My heart is broken, but I'm not going to tell you that because I don't care.
Oh, period.
So yeah.
All right. So according to you, what do you think are like the benefits and like the detriments of being a therapist friend?
I think some the cons, benefits, because I'm a gossiper and I love to yap with Kaleesia. I think the benefits are knowing people's business. And I think the benefits are knowing what people think and like all those things.
And I feel like it gives me so much perspective on the world. Yes. Because I get to hear other people's opinions about like certain situations and what they think, and like things that I might take lightly, they might take seriously, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I feel like it like puts the puzzle pieces together. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. Or they'll tell me something and I'll be like, oh, this part of your personality makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this is why I like psychology, but like they be giving me so much information and I'm like, oh, things are working out, like these are making sense now. What about you?
You guys guess our majors? Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's really it, because like some things I take so seriously and some people are like, it's just not that serious,
right?
And I'm like, well, it's serious to me. And I don't know, being that kind of person, I'm like, oh, well, I don't know, me personally, I think it shows you how to be more not objective, but be able to be like, well, that's just how I feel in this situation, and be more self-aware of your feelings.
No, real.
And how you would feel in certain scenarios.
Heavy on the your feelings. I feel like being able to talk to other people about their own feelings helped me out with mine a lot.
Yeah, I think now, sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead.
I think I'm more able to be like, well, that's just how I feel, and obviously like you might have, and not try and generalize things for people, because I feel like I still do, but I used to do that a lot more and be like, no, we don't. Just me. I've been thinking.
Yeah, you said you might go through the same emotion, but it's not like the same intensity or the same situation at all.
Or it's just like we don't have the same sentiment, and I'm speaking for an entire group, and that's like not cool.
Yeah.
Just in general, like I don't like when people do that. It's like, you thought that, so I never said that to you.
So why you putting more words in my mouth? Oh,
exactly.
Every time.
So what do you think are the detriments then?
I think with a therapist friend, there comes that like, I don't know. I feel like me personally, again, I feel like I've never really had a therapist for myself. Like I feel like I tell you all my shit, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's the same thing the other way around.
But I think that's just
Mm-hmm.
being I think at a certain
Mm-hmm.
point of being a therapist friend is just being a friend.
Real,
So,
real, real. I think the like distinction between like therapist friend and friend
mhm.
is the fact that like therapist friend, I feel like y'all are going to them a little bit more than like
Yeah,
somebody that you like we said before, you feel comfortable around. Da, 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 da,
and
da.
I think going to someone and being like they're like a therapist friend, when you start labeling people like that, I think it's more of like, okay, so a relationship like that is more transactional. Like you want me to just like listen to you.
Yeah, like this is a service.
I think that's also a detriment to it. It's like, oh, so you don't actually think of me as a friend, because when I start trying to bring up like my issues, then it's just like, oh, you're not paying
Yeah.
attention,
So
and you
I'm
don't
your friend,
care.
but you're not mine.
Yeah, like I'm able to listen to everything that you want to tell me, but you can't listen to one single thing that I'm telling you.
Oh,
That's
actually, now
crazy.
that you bring it up, I think that's a really good point because I feel like there have been multiple times in my life as like, again, I don't mind being the therapist friend to a certain degree, but when it gets to the point where like I'm having a conversation with them and every single time we meet up, we talk, it's always about them. I bring up one thing about myself and then it's like, oh no, straight back to them.
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, so we can't be doing that actually.
Yeah, and I've been in a lot of friendships, and I think that even I can be like that sometimes.
But
like,
of course.
But I think that it's different when you're just like always like that, or
exactly.
and then if I try and speak, you're like dry, or like you are not paying, as I said, not paying attention at all. Like it's just kind of, it's really invalidating to the other person's feelings.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
unfair.
It's so unfair. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is not a friendship. This is just like you wanting something out of me.
Exactly. At that point, I feel like you don't even care about me because you don't even care about what I have to say.
Yeah.
You just want me to sit there and listen to you.
Yeah, and that's not how a friendship works. So.
No. So yeah, I definitely think that you're right, and that's one of the detriments, honestly, because Pookie, that and also just like I feel like sometimes it gets to the degree where that friend themselves, the therapist friend themselves, cannot put their foot down and cannot build boundaries. Because, and hot take, I think sometimes it is on like the person a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you need to know when to set down your boundaries. And I say this with kids all the time, like literally at summer camp or whenever I'm babysitting. And I'm like, if you have a boundary, you better respect it. And if somebody else puts one down, you better respect it too.
Yeah.
And I think we need to get a lot more used to putting down our boundaries and like reinforcing them and making sure that other people respect it. Because I even see it with kids where like their parents will be like, oh, go up and hug your aunt. And the kid will be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and then the parent will
yeah, them. Exactly. Yeah. I think you should put down a boundary because if you don't, then you are letting other people get the pass to like just trample over it.
Yeah.
They don't even know they don't even know that they're pissing you off. They don't even know that they're hurting you sometimes unless you tell them. Sometimes it's obvious, you know. Yeah. You're talking to them, you can tell by your facial expressions, your body language that like something is off. But then in other times like you're pissed off, and though I understand that your friend is wrong because they've been coming to you with all of their problems and you know like it's hectic, sometimes they genuinely like they're going off so many things are going on in their own lives that they don't understand what the heck they're doing. So I think at some point you like, if it is getting too far, tell your friends, set down a boundary, and then if they don't respect it, Pookie, let them go.
Yeah, if they don't respect it, it's just like it's on them at that point. It's really like balls in their court. Like you have no responsibility over that. Other than being like, I think we should distance ourselves, or just slowly distancing yourself.
Yeah, but I think you're doing yourself and your friend a disservice if you just cut them off without even talking to them about it, you know?
That's a good word. Disservice? Okay. Yeah, fair. That is really true.
Sorry,
we do have notes on the side. Just a forewarning. Oh! Something we forgot to mention.
Oh, we got her? We got her?
Say it.
We got our first couple of hate comments.
Yes!
And one of our haters actually turned into our fan.
Yeah, fan. A literal fan.
A literal fan.
Okay, so just to explain, they tried to fat shame us.
She's trying to get the receipts out, by the way.
And they tried to fat shame us, and I was just like I was playing dumb. And I was like, so what do you mean? What do you mean?
Because say what you said, but louder.
Exactly. And they were just like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why would it be red? And my sister said loser freak to them.
I love you, Kennedy!
And then I was like, thank you for trying to explain your fat phobia. As a great philosopher once said, loser freak. Then they liked our TikTok, which they hadn't done before. And this is like a couple of like back and forth interactions. And then they said, y'all cute, stay safe.
Like, what?
Okay, fan. Hey. And then another one said, not everyone should start podcasts. And
Like,
someone did defend us in the comments. Thank you, Grace.
love you.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but for that first one, it's funny how bitches turn into my fans. They watch how I move. Yeah, I do my dance. I'm a skinny little, still shaking. Like, come on.
yeah, exactly. I feel like I move like Elmo.
But it's so fun. Like, come on. Just the shoulders and it's all like, ooh, come on.
I think it's so fun.
Agreed. But yeah, that was a crazy time. Okay, what other benefits and detriments do you think come with being like a therapist friend?
As I said, gossip. Like, here's the thing. I won't share it with other people unless it actually pertains to them and they need to know, that kind of thing. But I think that it's so fun. I hate to be that person. I think it's so fun to talk to other people like you. I think it's fun to talk between us and be like, what the fuck just happened? And I also saw someone say this recently, and it's always been around. This is just bringing up something completely separate. Actually, it's so off topic. I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
But it's so fun. Go ahead.
Literally, they were like, you don't hate gay people. You hate the fact that they're feminine.
Real.
And it's true. You don't hate gay men.
You love your stereotypes.
You don't hate men. No. You hate the fact that they're like women. And that's the thing. We're so taught to hate women. It's so fucking stupid. We're so taught to hate women that you won't listen to them. You're like, women who exhibit male qualities are gross. But then also, if you're a woman and you're more feminine, ew, because you're just a woman, or you're female presenting, or you're femme presenting. It's gross.
All the time.
And I think that's so stupid. It's like these men, these little kids.
Oh my God.
Because I won't call them men. You won't even listen to this conversation because you're so out of it, you know? Yeah. You're so out of tune with how the world views women. Because you're a man. You don't have to pay attention. Oh my God, I could drone on and on.
Because it doesn't concern that. No, I could drone on and on. It's I love talking about it. You know, I think that's, now that you bring it up, listen, I will fucking associate the patriarchy with any and everything, because you can, because you can,
because it's been there for so long.
Yeah, because it's the foundation of our fucking system. I think that's also like another reason as to why most therapist friends that we see are women.
Yeah, 100%.
Because men don't know how to listen.
Well, most therapists, as I think I've
told, are just women.
Yeah, I think I've told Kaleesia this. Most therapists are women, and I don't think that that's a horrible thing. Obviously, like when you go and look for a therapist, someone wants someone that relates to them. So like if you're a man looking for a therapist, obviously you're probably gonna want more of a male therapist. Just like I don't want a man therapist. Yeah. If I got one, like I really wouldn't, because I just feel like
you want somebody who can relate to you.
You don't get it. Like you don't get it because you're a man. Like you just never will get it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that that's so true. Like, of course, patriarchy goes into it, as always. You know, women are just socialized to be like caring and listen.
Exactly.
And shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. And you need to be there for everyone. But if you're a man, you can just continue and go on. And this is such a baseline version of feminism, which is so like, whatever. We're really not getting into it that much. But it's just like, oh, it's so annoying, because there are so many women that are like, they don't want to be that person, and they're just kind of forced into that.
No, that's so real.
So it's just like,
I agree.
I don't want to listen to, if that was me, like I don't mind listening to people's problems. But if that was me, it's just like, I don't want to listen to your problems. You're just telling me about them.
No, that's real.
I don't want to listen to this. Like, you know,
I feel like there has to be a certain relationship like established pre, you know?
Yeah.
But no, period. I agree. And I think, obviously, like you said, base level, like feminism, base level, like just talk of like the patriarchy. But again, men being taught like, you know, man up when they're a kid and not to talk about their emotions. And I'm all about that to a certain degree. And I'm the same thing with like just traumatic things, like as a whole. Like you can use your trauma or whatnot as like an excuse for, oh, I did this shitty thing. But as soon as you get to a certain age, I'm like, okay. But let's take your age into account. How did you grow from this? So men being like, yeah, I was taught from like a kid not to feel boo, but you were taught that from other men.
Yeah.
You were taught that from other men.
Not necessarily, obviously. Like women are like that too, because women contribute to it as well.
But of course. But it's like it started with men, and men are the ones who usually enforce it. Not to that women aren't like that too, because I've talked to not many men, obviously, but like some men, and they've been like, oh, this person affected me in this way, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like I can see that. And obviously I'm a part of the patriarchy. Hey, I'm still unlearning shit to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
Exactly.
But again, I feel like it's one thing to be like, oh, like I'm not a listener, or I don't, like from the man's perspective, like I'm not a listener, or I don't talk about my feelings for this and this reason. Totally understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to the age of like whatever, 25, 28,
when your
and
brain's
you are
supposed to be fully developed.
exactly, and you are hurting other people because of that, of whatever you experienced, I don't think you can use that as an excuse anymore.
Yeah, well, my dog died.
Literally, like, so
like,
obviously I'm going to validate your experience and say that what you went through is obviously understandable, and like I totally get it, and I understand why you would feel the way that you feel, but that does not give you an excuse to then act on, or kind of, I guess, project your emotions onto somebody else and hurt somebody else because of that.
Detriments is just like, yeah, people coming and talking to you when you don't want them to. It's like you're amalgamating.
Oh my, you know what okay, detriment of being a therapist friend, when somebody just trauma dumps without warning.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say, when someone just comes up to you and starts talking.
Oh my god, like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, to a certain degree, if you ease me into it, if like I know that we're getting into this topic of the conversation, that's fine. If I'm like a casual conversation, what did you do throughout your day? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Oh, but you know, because when I'm younger, this happened, and blah, blah. Hold on. So if you would have just asked, just let me be like emotionally and mentally prepared for this before we go into this, because Pookie, I'm not ready.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially because if you don't know them that well, like I don't mind if you are. I don't mind if you're like, Blaire, like I need to tell you blah 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 blah, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready for it, because we have those conversations on the regular. Like it's really not weird for us to just talk. And I think that I'm even conscious of like when I just trauma up and I'm like, I'm so sorry, or that I'm ranting, and you're like, no, it's fine, and I still feel bad, but it's whatever. I'm
always showing it,
and
with her.
But it's like if someone just comes up to you and you're just like friends, but it's more of like a I don't speak to you outside of class kind of thing, and then they're just like, as you said, no, but this happened to me, but like because when I was young,
and it's like we were acquaintances 2 seconds ago.
So like,
no, that's real.
I didn't need to know that you were like something happened to you as a kid, like literally. that really I don't know you that well.
Exactly. But also with the trauma dump, I'm like, what if I was having a really shit day and you just hit me with everything that's going on in your life, and I'm now overstimulated and I'm overwhelmed, and now I don't want to go outside for the next 2 weeks because things are too much.
That's another detriment. You're having a bad day and someone is like, no, but I had a bad day, this happened to me, and I'm like, it doesn't even compare with real. It really, like, I don't care that your nail chipped and that you couldn't do this. Something bad just happened to me, like, yeah, you something that you're talking about is not as bad as what I'm going through, and I don't care to tell you because you don't need to know that.
Truly.
Because I just keep some things to myself because I don't need to tell you, like, you know. And I think that that's so real of being like there are bigger things going on.
There are so many more, like, oh my god. And I think add that to a detriment, but like the jealousy that comes to being the therapist friend. Sometimes hearing issues, like you said, that aren't that big, and then you talk to me about it, and I'm like, so you're having a bad day right now because you weren't able to buy a $600 piece of clothing that you really want, and there's no way you're talking to me about this. Like, you're not being real with me right now. This has to, like, this is a joke. There are cameras somewhere hiding.
That's literally it. Like, okay.
Literally,
there are people that are dying, Kim. Like,
quite literally, like, people are dying, Kim.
Like, let's be real. Like, do you want me to grab you by your fucking legs and shake you? Because what are you doing? Like,
or they're telling me about everything that's going on. They're like, oh, this is going on in my life. This. Oh my god. I'm
like, okay, I'm counting, and I'm not seeing any big issues. So why are you talking to me like right now? There's no way that you're just yapping to yap to yap, and I don't mind if you do that. But it comes to a point where you're complaining about everything.
There are limits.
I'm a complainer. Hey,
I love to do it.
I love to complain.
But with reason.
Like, I feel like it's just odd. And I think I do it too to certain people, like my siblings.
See, but I feel like the relationship that you have with somebody kind of dictates your limits and your boundaries. Because again, if I'm with like my siblings or I'm with you talking about like small little shit, I feel like it's understandable.
Yeah.
But to certain people, I'm like, we don't have that relationship for you to be talking to me and about the small little things going on in your life and being like, oh, this is horrendous because I was planning on buying this shirt and it's like $600 and I can't buy it anymore. And I'm like, Kaleesia, I've been so sad and I've been planning on. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take a breather.
I think it's also just like, we live such different lives.
Real.
Like, I cannot relate to that at all. And for you to be like, taking your shirt example, $600 is not a game to me. Like, it's not like I can spend that on a shirt.
Yeah.
And so for you to be like, I can't afford it, then buy another shirt.
Yes.
Go somewhere else. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I don't know why you needed this specific one.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, some things you just want, you've been saving up for it, but that's not the case here.
Like, I'm sure you could do some research and find something that looks around the same. But also, like, now that I've heard what you said, I'm like, maybe I'm just not the audience for it. Maybe I'm just not the friend for you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not just on you, and maybe we just aren't compatible, type thing.
No, yeah.
Maybe you just need to go talk to your rich friends about this.
But that's the thing. It's like, why would you first
read the room?
That's it.
Read the room.
That's it. I was gonna say, you definitely know my financial situation. Like, if we're friends, you know that I'm not rich enough to have that. Why are you telling me?
Why are you complaining to me about it?
Why are you telling me that you can't go on your you want to go to this place, but your parents want to go to this place, so you can't? Like, this has never happened to me, but you want to go to this place, but your parents want to go to this place in Europe, so you can't go. So I've never been to Europe.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that information?
I don't care. Right? Like for me, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, you're going, just be happy.
Because in that case, like, again, like we said before, like, most of the part of being a therapist friend is just actively listening and being able to be like, to just validate your friend's experience. And in that case, I don't think I have the ability to validate your experience, because to me, your issue is just so minuscule. Like, it's on my list of priorities, baby, you're at the bottom.
That's it. And as I said, especially if you're having a bad day, something bad happened, someone just passed, something like that, your cat just died, your dog just died. Yeah. I don't need to listen to it.
There are bigger things happening, Kim.
Like, I'm so over it. It's just like, I've gotten to a point where I can admit that, like, maybe in high school, yeah, people came up to us and just talked to us. But now, like, people don't do that unless I know them a bit. So I'm just like, this is so useless. Like, we just had this conversation. Whoa.
You've got it. Keep going. You got it. I believe in you. Oh! Like, what is going on?
We just had this conversation for nothing.
Literally.
Because I'm just, like, I'm going to be going to Kaleesia and telling them, like,
literally.
Like, what just happened to me?
Like, come on. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That, and I literally thought of another one and then it escaped my brain.
No, think about it.
Oh my God. Okay. Detriment of being a therapist friend. At some point, sometimes people get comfortable enough with you that they start bringing up the same issue time and time and time and time and time again. And it's just you validating their experience like 5,000 freaking times about the same situation.
Do I do that?
No. Okay. You don't do that. You don't do that.
I feel like I do. Anyways.
No. Because you relate it to other things.
Yeah.
But also, like your issues have to do with, like, sociology and, like, it's just interesting because, I love talking about the patriarchy now. Like, come on.
It's silly because I feel like I try and do stuff, but that's fair. Why are you, like, you've told me all of this and you're not bringing anything new to the table.
And I keep saying the same thing, and it's like, how are you not getting that I don't know what to give you at this point to help you?
Yeah.
Like, so you vented about it, like, the same flipping thing, like, 1,000 times over in 1,000 different situations. And it's like, once it gets even to the point where, like, you're going out to, like, eat something, and then you guys are talking and you bring up your life, and then they bring up that one problem again, and it's like, okay, so we're out and we're having fun.
Here's the gag, is that I feel like I do that, not to you, but I feel like I do it to my siblings. So I think that that's, like, I can relate to that, like, whatever.
But again,
I recognize that it's annoying as fuck. So
again, I feel like it depends on the relationship, though. Because if it's with my sisters, I don't care, because I feel like that comes along with the territory.
Yeah.
Like if I call you a best friend, which is usually rare, I'm fine with it. If you're anybody in, like, my immediate household, I'm pretty fine with it. If, again, you are an acquaintance or somebody that I just don't know very well, and whenever we talk, you keep bringing up the same, I'm gonna actually murder somebody. Like, I'm gonna start crying and sobbing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
But when it's my sisters, I'm like, no, it's understandable. Because I also feel like it
might just be different family dynamics, though.
It might be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know. I'm usually just like, okay, just talk. And because sometimes I will literally just listen and like will relate it to. I don't know. I don't
You
know.
know, I
I don't
do
know.
that too.
Mm.
Whatever. We're not gonna get into my family issues. But yeah. Um.
All right. All right. All
Okay.
right. So, okay. How do you think the friend group like kind of perceives a therapist friend? How do you think they view them?
I think it's different in every friend group because
For
I think
real.
that for some people they like really appreciate that person and they're like willing to help them and do whatever
Mhm.
because they like appreciate that they have a friend to talk to.
Mhm.
But I think that every single person has a different one in a friend group. Does that
For
make
real.
sense? So I feel like your therapist friend,
Oh, okay. Period. E.
I feel like your
Continue.
therapist friend is going to be the person that you're closest to. So
Mhm.
like if we were in a when we were in a friend group
Mhm.
anyways, you were like my quote
Mhm.
therapist friend, but it's just cuz I spoke to you the most and we
Yeah.
knew each other the best.
Mhm.
Um and I think
And the
that
same vice versa.
exactly like
Yeah.
and I think that sometimes being a therapist friend is not really being a therapist friend, it's just like debriefing with your friend. Um
Oh my! I love. Sorry.
like
Keep going.
no, you can go.
Like a good debrief after like a dinner date with
Yes,
somebody or like a
exactly. Like you go out all together and then you're just like because you need to
Mhm.
talk about something. I'm burping. Anyways, but yeah, like I think that sometimes it's I don't know. I don't think that necessarily friend groups have therapist friends.
Mhm. It's just like
Um
that friend who has a therapist friend.
yeah, okay, I see. I see what you mean. But I don't know how they view them. I think that some of them are like, I feel bad
Mhm.
that they like everyone goes through their issues with them. Or then
Mhm.
some of them are like, no, like I love that she's a therapist friend because or
Mhm.
they're a therapist friend because like I do that
Mhm.
too. Like I need that validation of I need
Mhm.
that therapist friend. Like, this makes no sense.
No, I totally understand.
Okay.
I also think that I feel like some people have like a certain amount of like fear towards the therapist friend a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just because they shared so much with this person that like some I don't know. I feel like I've gotten that sometimes
Really?
when like somebody tells me so much something and they're like, I can kind of like see like the I don't know, just like the machine moving in their little brain, and they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I said too much, or like,
Oh, but I be doing
oh,
that.
like you have too much of my information. And I'm like, oh, Pookie, literally, I have the memory of a goldfish. Actually, like
They
genuinely,
do.
give me 10 seconds and I won't remember it. You'll be perfectly fine.
Usually that's no, but that's not me. But I
Mm-hmm.
also just don't feel it's necessary to tell people your secrets. Like I just
Real.
I hate to say it. Hot take. I don't
Mm.
care. Like I
Genuinely.
don't care enough to be like I really don't. Unless it's like with Kaleesia, as I said,
Mm.
I won't tell anyone your secrets because you're telling them to me personally. Like I
Yeah,
won't be telling people like
at
that.
all. And like also like again, not remembering shit. So you're I don't care. Don't worry. I'm not gonna remember
Yeah.
it for long. It's not gonna be a secret for long because I won't know it.
um. Okay.
Hmm. And then there's also that other way. Like we talked before about like how some people don't even perceive the therapist friend as like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're just here. And I feel like that very much gives the energy of like two best friends like walking on a road and then there's just that third person like walking
Yeah.
behind them.
Yes.
I feel like that very much gives the energy of like somebody who just kind of classifies a therapist friend as just like not even a friend. Like you're just there for me to talk to type thing.
Yeah.
And though that is very rare, I feel like maybe. I
Mm,
don't know. Um, but
depends
yeah,
on what stage in life you're at. I feel like
that's real because I feel like it's a lot more common when we're younger.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at some point, again, you just I feel like once you get older, you learn boundaries and again, you grow from the experiences that you went through before so that you're like, next time we're not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. Period.
Yeah.
Do you think you are still the therapist friend? Or do you think you are the therapist friend?
I think that people are comfortable just telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Here's that thing, right? I think that people are comfortable just telling me whatever their secrets or whatever they want to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's because, okay, I hate to be this person.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't mind telling me about their relationships and stuff because they don't think that I could
Mm-hmm.
get someone
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, so they don't mind telling me.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that I think that just comes along with being like the fat
Agreed.
friend in the
Mm-hmm.
group, but whatever.
No, I agree.
But I think that they also just like know that I'm not really like I'm not gonna interrupt them and
Mm-hmm.
like be mean about something. Even though I'm kind of mean, like I'm kind of mean in a jokey way.
It works. The bit works.
But I don't think that, like, I wouldn't classify myself as therapist friend, but I think that I'm always there to listen. Like, whatever, like, people will just tell them if there are issues. I don't really care. Like, you know, it's not that big of a deal to me. How about you?
I don't think I am anymore.
Yeah.
I think to me it used to be like a point of pride almost a little bit, where I used to be like, oh, I'm people's therapist friends, like people feel comfortable with me and blah blah blah. But then I feel like I started kind of taking on so much of like their trauma and the things that they were telling me about, dealing with my own life, you know, going to school, going to work, and then I was like, this is a lot, like this is overwhelming. And I think that's why I cut down my friendship group to like something so small now, because hearing from everybody, I was like, actually, I can't be doing this. Y'all can't be doing this to me. And then I learned, and like I kind of, I guess, did some self work, and I realized that I was also a part of the problem because I simply did not know how to put down my boundaries.
Yeah.
And so I think I've done a lot of work on it. And I don't think I'm the therapist friend anymore. I think, just like you said, I'm just like a normal friend. Like, we'll chill. You can tell me about your life, and like I'll tell you about mine, and things will work out just fine.
But that's just a friendship, right?
Yeah. Ooh. Period.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, and I feel like that's really true. And I think that the one time that I did really set down a boundary, it's really hard to set down boundaries, and this is also another reason. One time I set down a boundary, I realized that the person like had pulled away. And I think that it's really hard because then you're like, well, I don't want to stop being friends with you. But I did need to put down that boundary because I couldn't do it anymore, you know? But I don't want to, like, I don't want this friendship to be over.
But then they kind of end it themselves.
Well, that's it. It's like, okay, so we don't talk, like, oh, we used to talk daily and we don't talk anymore. Or we don't really talk anymore. And that's upsetting. But it does come with the territory of, like, that's why it's hard to set boundaries there, because I don't want to lose you as a friend, and I don't want to lose that trust with you. But I can't take it when you do a certain thing. So I don't know. Like, setting boundaries is really hard, especially if you think of yourself as a person that everyone can come to.
All right. Any other things to say?
Please comment, like, and subscribe. And please watch our videos. We're gonna try and post every Friday.
Fingers crossed.
Also,
if you see the 5 days before, just leave it alone.
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
I tried to schedule, and then I made an error. It's on me. It's not Kaleesia. It's my fault. Also, if you never see Kaleesia posting on Instagram, it's because they're not on Instagram. Yeah, they are, like, they have an account, but I just don't use it often. They don't have the app. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter.
When I do go on Instagram, like, I'm going on, it's so embarrassing. I have to go on Chrome on my MacBook, and I'm literally just using it for like university. Like, it's so embarrassing.
Also, yeah, at the end of the summer, Kaleesia will be going off to university, and we're still trying to figure it out, but most likely Zoom. So if you see us on Zoom and that audio is a little bit,
we apologize. We're trying our best.
Don't even talk about it. Don't even mention it, because it doesn't even matter. Okay.
Yeah. And also, you might be seeing like guest stars at some point. Just saying.
Guest stars.
Yeah. Because we've got
we already have a few people in line. That's kind of it. So, like, comment, subscribe, go listen on Spotify, go listen on YouTube, do the things.
And listen, I know sometimes you talk like kind of slowly and we say like a lot, or like, so I feel like I do that a lot.
Put it on 2 times, that's what I do.
Literally. Like, I do it all the time.
I'm an iPad kid, I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I know sometimes our episodes are long, it's like 40 minutes, reduces it to 20. Yeah. Just 2x.
2x, 1.75, perfect.
I love 1.75 actually.
Yeah, and we don't have captions, but
it would be a lot of work, and I don't think either of us have the time for it, unfortunately.
No, if we could, we would. And stuff, so, yeah. Anyways.
Thank you for listening. And this has been Super Manly Man Talk. Adieu, and next time. Adieu. 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 Adieu.